We thank you both. All right, next up, the Kansas City, Missouri, with the Capital Improvements Management Office, Wayne Cawthon and Michael McClure. Thank you both, sir, for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having us. My name is Wayne Cawthon. I'm the city manager of Kansas City, Missouri, and I have Mike McClure with me, who's the project director for the CMO office. We're here to talk about CMO. The Capital Improvement Management Office was created to streamline and integrate project management delivery for city construction projects. The development came about because we had a backlog of construction projects that were funded but were not able to be out in the street. So we had about $400 million worth of construction projects that were funded, but somehow they didn't make it out to the street. Prior to the establishment of CMO, the city issued 45 capital construction projects valued at $30 million in 2003. Multiple departments delivered capital construction projects, and each of those departments had their own delivery system, which made it very confusing to the contracting community. No method of clear communications to the citizens about the status of the projects were delivered, and there was little confidence in the community that the city was able to deliver these particular projects. The development of CMO began in January of 2004 with 6 city staff members and 25 consultants. The existing city staff and the outside consultants were challenged to challenge the status quo, to come up with new processes to deliver construction projects. The original workload consisted of 151 projects valued at $240 million. 6 months later, that value was increased to $400 million because the auditor found out that our backlog was $400 million, not $250 million. The rule of thumb in the new environment was to have a sense of urgency and to challenge the status quo. Working side by side, city staff and consultants targeted best practices. The project management tools are used today are used citywide. Systems are in place to communicate with citizens in the contracting community. Legislation has been changed to give the city flexibility in dealing with construction projects. Our city charter was recently modified or changed. It was a city charter that was around since 1925. It was changed in 2006 to give us the ability to do other things as it relates to contracting. The current total contract portfolio is 432 projects valued at $1.2 billion. 300 of those contracts are under construction or complete. Average time to complete a project went from 36 months in 2003 to 18 months in 2006. Average time between bid and notice to proceed went from 270 days to 88 days. Average time to process a payment went from 69 days to 23 days. The original backlog of 151 projects is complete. Improved streamlined processes are being utilized throughout the city. The public confidence in the city's process is more enhanced. Since 2004, $1 billion worth of infrastructure projects have been voted on by the citizens of Kansas City. And in 2007, the CMO staff became fully operational by city staff.
Thank you. As far as replication is concerned, several cities have visited Kansas City and are presently in some throes of trying to replicate our innovations. And why are they doing that? Because they've seen that the traditional siloed departmental organization structure for delivery of capital projects is becoming more and more inefficient. They're seeing that they don't have a cradle-to-grave, whole-life project management process within the city government, which the departmental structure breaks up that delivery process. Also, there are fewer and fewer engineers, construction managers, and project managers available in the marketplace, so it's important to become more and more efficient. And they see consolidation of their entire capital program into one delivery organization, a very efficient method of getting out projects in an expedited manner. But more so, cities are competing for development dollars. They're competing for premier developments and developers in private capital. And developers are looking for those cities that are efficient and can implement their infrastructure in an expedited manner to partner with those developers in execution and attracting it in that way. And then also what they're seeing is the integration of consultants, a true integration of consultants with city staff to make the entire change management process occur, bring new tools, bring new practices, and create a culture of challenging the status quo and change management.
Thank you. All right, we have Bill, Ed, and then Ellen.
I understand that the partnership, the community partnership, a private-public partnership, has terminated after a 3-year of really growing momentum. I mean, I think the program's had a real good head of steam up there. What kind of assurance can you give us that now that the program is going to be operated strictly by the public entity, that you can continue that kind of momentum and maintain the program? And do you anticipate that you'll be making any changes or renovations to the program?
Well, like you said, the consultants were finished in December 31st of '06. And since
I'm sorry, can you speak up on that?
the consultants were finished in December 31st of '06, and now they're working. The city is working directly involved in the day-to-day operations of the program. As it relates to whether or not it's going to continue, it is going to continue. We were able to make certain that the consultants just didn't do their work and leave, but also kept best practices inside City Hall. At the beginning of this project, a lot of people didn't want to be involved based on the fact that it was consultants looking at taking over their job. But once they realized that there was lessons learned from the private sector, they kind of embraced it and said to themselves, well, this is the kind of stuff I learned in graduate school. And so we do have enthusiasm and people from other departments wanting to be part of the CMO organization.
There was an entire educational program during that 3-year period of time to upskill city staff and prepare them for taking over, not only with those technical skills, but leadership skills.
Good. Ed Doran?
I'm having trouble. First, let me commend you for getting this done. I understand the difficulty of combating both a city bureaucracy and the interest of political leaders in order to do it, so congratulations. I'm having trouble finding out, however, how unusual this is. At the federal level, of course, there's been a certain amount of centralized contracting for a number of years. I assume that there are other states and cities that have some kind of centralized contracting, so I'm trying to figure out how unusual Kansas City's approach is. Further, with respect to replicability, to what extent are outside contractors absolutely essential to getting this done?
Well, I'll answer the first part of it. The situation that makes us different is that the consultants were part of the senior staff. They were not set to the side saying they were the consultants. They were basically part of my regular organization. They were like department heads. And so it was a situation.
But you can't, can you
Yes, we were able
private contractors in charge of
we were able to
public
give them
employees?
we were able to give them the ability to sign off on our contracting procedures. And so that was something that took some maneuvering with our city attorneys, but they had that ability to actually sign off on our contracting processes.
Good. Ellen?
Well, just to follow up on Ed's question, so we've seen in the federal government some instances of turning significant amount of work over to contractors and not always with results that the public is happy. So what mechanisms did you put in place to make sure, to oversee the work of the contractors while they were in charge for 3 years?
Well, we had constant dialogue with our city council. We had situations where, on a quarterly basis, reports were submitted to the council and to the public talking about the status of our projects. We had a $400 million backlog, so the community was very concerned about our ability to get things done, and they were concerned about us using this new approach also.
Mr. Dorn, to answer your question, the number of municipalities that have used this process I think are very minimal. I work for a lot of cities across the United States. I've not seen it yet other than Kansas City in a full development, full implementation process. So to answer your question.
Carl?
Mr. McClure, are you now totally out of this, or are you still part of this process?
I'm totally out of it.
Just to finish this up, David, go ahead.
responding to your last point, when you say other cities haven't done this, do you mean a central project management office, or do you mean a private consultant to run that office?
I was speaking to municipalities consolidating all their capital delivery into one office. And possibly so, to having consultants to assist them to do that and make that change. I don't know if that...
Is that the central innovation here, the consolidation of management?
Yes, that's a central innovation, as well as the utilization of consultants in that change management process. Because that's huge in a 3-year period of time.
Well, I can just conclude, thank you. Harry Truman would have been proud of you in Missouri. Thank you.